In 2020, a team from Harvard published findings from one of the most ambitious nutrition studies ever conducted. They had followed more than 100,000 people for 34 years, tracking what they ate, how often they ate it, and what happened to them as they age. And when they analyzed the data, they identified specific dietary patterns that were consistently associated with up to 13 extra years of healthy life. Not just living longer, living healthier, maintaining function, independence, and cognitive clarity further into old age. The foods at the center of those patterns aren't expensive. They're not exotic. There's a reasonable chance you already know all five. But the research behind why they work, the specific biological mechanisms, is something most people have never heard explained. I want to save food number 5 for the end. Of the 5, it has the most dramatic data specifically for adults over 60. It's also the most underconsumed by a significant margin. By the time we get there, you'll understand why that gap matters. Let's go through them. Food 1, extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil has been studied more than almost any other single food. The landmark trial here is the PREDIMED study, conducted across Spain, following more than 7,000 people at high cardiovascular risk. The group assigned to a Mediterranean diet with extra virgin olive oil saw a 30% reduction in major cardiovascular events compared to the control group. 30% in a randomized controlled trial. That's a number most medications are measured against. The mechanism that makes olive oil particularly interesting is a compound called oleocanthal. It's a polyphenol found in high-quality extra virgin olive oil, and its anti-inflammatory effect has been shown to be structurally similar to ibuprofen. Not identical, but comparable in mechanism. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the central drivers of aging-related disease, cardiovascular disease, dementia, cancer. Oleocanthal works against that process with every tablespoon. The practical takeaway: use extra virgin olive oil as your primary cooking fat. 2 tablespoons a day is the target from the PREDIMED data. Food 2, leafy greens, spinach, kale, arugula, collard greens, Swiss chard. This category has the most consistent association with brain health of any food group in the research. The Mind Diet study from Rush University Medical Center found that adults who ate 1 serving of leafy greens per day had cognitive test scores equivalent to brains approximately 11 years younger than those who rarely ate them. 11 years. From a single daily serving of spinach or kale. The primary drivers are lutein, folate, and vitamin K, all found in high concentrations in dark leafy greens. These compounds reduce oxidative damage in brain tissue and support the structural integrity of neurons. 1 serving is 1 cup raw or half a cup cooked. You can get there with a handful of spinach and scrambled eggs or arugula on a sandwich. It doesn't require a dramatic dietary change. Food 3, berries, especially blueberries. Blueberries contain a class of compounds called anthocyanins. These are the pigments that give them their deep blue color, and they're among the most potent antioxidants found in any food. A study from the USD Human Nutrition Research Center on Aging found that older adults who ate blueberries daily showed measurable improvements in memory and cognitive function compared to those who didn't, specifically in areas associated with working memory and processing speed. Anthocyanins reduce oxidative stress in neural tissue. They essentially neutralize the molecular damage that accumulates in brain cells over time. The practical point: a half cup of blueberries daily is the serving size used in most of the research. Fresh or frozen, the frozen form retains the same anthocyanin content. Food 4, legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas, peas. This category has more fiber per serving than any other food group, and that fact connects to one of the most consistent findings in the longevity literature. The Blue Zones research, Dan Bittner's identification of the world's 5 longevity hotspots, found one consistent dietary habit across all 5 regions. They all eat legumes daily. Okinawa, Sardinia, the Nicoya Peninsula, Ikaria, Loma Linda. Different cuisines, different cultures, one shared constant. The meta-analysis data supports it. 1 cup of legumes per day is associated with an 8% reduction in all-cause mortality. That's not a trivial number. The fiber in legumes feeds beneficial gut bacteria, stabilizes blood sugar, reduces LDL cholesterol, and reduces systemic inflammation through multiple pathways simultaneously. 1 cup of beans daily. That might be the single most achievable dietary change on this list. Food 5, fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel, herring, anchovies. This is the most under-consumed food on this list by a significant margin. And based on the research, it may also be the one with the most dramatic data specifically for adults over 60. The active compounds are EPA and DHA, the long-chain omega-3 fatty acids found almost exclusively in fatty fish. EPA and DHA reduce systemic inflammation, support neuronal membrane integrity, and protect against the vascular changes associated with both cardiovascular disease and cognitive decline. The VITAL trial, published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2019, studied omega-3 supplementation in over 25,000 adults and found a 28% reduction in cardiovascular events in people who were not already eating fish regularly. 28%. In the group that needed it most, the people whose diets were lowest in omega-3s. For cognitive function specifically, longitudinal studies consistently show that higher blood levels of DHA are associated with slower cognitive decline in adults over 60. The brain is approximately 60% fat by dry weight, and DHA is the most abundant structural fat in brain tissue. Your brain runs on it. If you're not eating fatty fish, there's a reasonable chance you're chronically deficient. 2 to 3 servings per week is the target. Sardines and mackerel are the most omega-3 dense options per dollar, more than salmon, and they're lower in mercury. You don't need to overhaul your diet to incorporate these 5 foods. Most people can add all 5 with adjustments that take less than 10 minutes a day. Swap your cooking oil to extra virgin olive oil. Add a handful of spinach to something you're already making. Keep a bag of frozen blueberries in the freezer. Open a can of beans twice a week. Eat salmon or sardines 2 to 3 times a week. The Harvard cohort data isn't about perfection. It's about consistency over years. The Harvard research that started this video didn't measure perfect eating. It measured dietary patterns over decades. The people who lived longest weren't on strict protocols. They just ate these foods more often than they ate the things that work against them. That's the whole framework. 5 foods, consistent frequency. The biology takes care of the rest. If you want to go deeper on the omega-3 question, specifically how to tell whether a fish oil supplement is worth taking and what to look for in quality, I've linked a resource in the description that covers the key criteria. And if olive oil is something you want to know more about, there's a link there as well. The video on Zone 2 cardio pairs particularly well with this one. Diet and exercise are the 2 pillars with the most consistent evidence in the longevity literature. Both links are on the screen now.